Okay, Buck, we're back, and I got some stuff for you, Buck. Um, you remember our good friend Guido Finelli?
Is uh is this our Rent a Hitman guy?
This is the Rent a Hitman guy. We've had
Oh man. Oh good. I love this guy, man. Let's do it.
so we've had several stories about this website on the show, and unfortunately, when we read the news stories, they typically have a quick synopsis about it. So we're going to play Spider-Man's story here, and we're going to tell the origin story a few times, I'm sure. But our first website comes from WAFB9. Website reports 14-year-old girl after she attempt to hire a hitman to kill her ex-boyfriend. Police arrested a 14-year-old girl on Valentine's Day after they were notified she used a website to find a hitman to kill her ex. And today we learn she's not the only one who used this same site to do this. The website rentahitman.com. When you type in the URL and pull up the pages, you're greeted with a website offering to reward work employees, offering ready to work employees willing to carry out your darkest desires, even if that means murder. Baton Rouge police say a 14-year-old girl searched for this site and found someone to kill her ex-boyfriend. The website administrator, Guido Finelli, contacted BRPD back in January, notifying them of the girl's motives. We conducted an investigation on it and thought the course of our investigation we learned the information was indeed placed on the website. We made contact with the 14-year-old girl and then arrested her for soliciting to kill her ex-boyfriend. Police say that although she's the first known in Louisiana to attempt to hire a hitman using the site, others from outside the state have landed behind bars for failing for the same fake propositions. RentAHitman.com has helped police catch people looking to commit acts of violence all over the country. The website has been featured on major outlets, including CNN and Rolling Stone magazine, as well as the Social Liability podcast. The website has been in existence for 17 years and has been beneficial to law enforcement in sharing information. Scrolling through the website, you'll find they try to appeal to uh, a variety of targets, rather, willing to ask for the unthinkable, including people who hate their job and, of course, upset exes. All posts and even ads are written sarcastically, a tone that is not that clearly isn't immediately recognized by everyone. You also find fake testimonials from so-called customers with their images blurred, enough evidence to convict a teenager. I'm sorry, even though evidence to convince a teenager that she's hiring a hitman contract killer. People do take it seriously. The information has gotten and shared with law enforcement has been beneficial in stopping things from occurring. Finelli was unavailable for interview, but did share with us an email of his appreciation for the BRPD and told us he hopes that, quote, the intended victim receives the help and support they need coming out of this okay. I mean, Buck, we've talked about the website a couple times. It is so sarcastic. I mean, everything on there is just the whole time they were talking. Like the last time we did this was when COVID first started. They were talking about their COVID-19 protocols. It was
Yeah.
priceless. And
Oh yeah, they really don't spare any opportunity for making an ass out of somebody. They really don't.
well, I told uh, so this happened. This is like the third time we've done Rent a Hitman, but the first time we did it was when the podcast was in its infancy, and we got a message from Guido Finelli saying that he heard the podcast and we were covering it. That was cool, and that was like one of our really cool things. Okay, people are actually listening to what we have to say, so that's kind of cool for us. But I reached out to Guido now and told, hey, we're going to be doing another Rent a Hitman story. He says, thanks for the heads up. I just wanted to share a few interesting cases I've been working with the past couple of months. First one, a subject in the Midwest tried to frame a convicted pedophile by submitting a request to murder four individuals. The alleged solicitor was asked two questions and said yes, they wanted services. A week later, they submitted a follow-up, this time containing images containing child pornography. The FBI has identified the submitter, and they are in much deeper trouble than the person they tried to frame. The investigation is continuing.
Nice.
Number two, a juvenile and his father were arrested for submitting a request to have a judge murdered. The case was initiated within hours of a solicitation due to the severity. Authorities were easily able to identify the individuals because they provided their real names on the web form, and the juvenile made corroborating statements incriminating his father. The judge was unharmed. And number three, a 14-year-old in Louisiana solicited to have her ex-boyfriend taken out. And I didn't tell him which story we were covering. I just told him we were doing it again. But he gives a little bit more detail into this one. She provided his name, photo, and when he gets off the bus. And this is what his mother looked like. On the surface, this appeared to be a cry for help from a young girl, and I requested a welfare check on her for the check for possible abuse. Two schools went on lockdown, school police were on alert, and the parents were contacted. The mother of the intended target wanted to press charges and urged police brass to do so. The juvenile was then arrested and is now in juvenile hall. She appeared to be a good student who just acted in anger over the breakup. The news media has completely spun this story out of control. This story is a little bit different. This is the guy. This is the guy that did it, and he's telling us that news article is not quite there. So
Right.
just because it's from a reputable outlet, and this story is everywhere, Buck. So I made sure that I go through several papers. Now I assume they were all. Once you find stuff from the Associated Press, usually you're like, okay, this has been vetted, but apparently not entirely.
Yeah. Yeah. They definitely put a lot of melodrama into the news stories.
And
That's.
their
Mhm.
whole idea is, hey, look at this website. This website's funny. We're gonna get people to click on our stuff. But reality is, okay. So we've discussed this before, and I'm gonna do it again. When you get those phone calls saying, "Hey, I'm a Nigerian prince, and I need you to help me get my money out of country using Amazon gift cards," whatever. But there's a reason that they're so stupid. The calls are so stupid. The emails are so dumb because the people that will fall for them, you aren't going to know they ever got scammed or won't be willing to tell people they got scammed. And you're looking for the people who are not ever going to get caught because they didn't go out and try to solicit somebody from the CIA. This is something that is so stupid that they attempted this, and they're able to investigate that and a lot of times prevent crimes from happening because the dumbest people that want to commit these crimes are falling for the act of the website. So it's a great thing, but when you have the news agencies are like, haha, this is funny. It's kind of not in a way. We poke
Mhm.
fun at it because some of the ridiculous things that have happened, but I think this highlights that there's a lot of times that newspapers rather will sensationalize a story and everyone will just feed off of it instead of actually giving a lot of the details about it that actually
Well, I
make more
mean,
sense.
you look at the email that you got from the guy. You know, it's not that a wellness check was, like he actually requested the wellness check on this girl.
He did
Like
because he
it's
thought
not like
it was a
it's
14-year-old
right.
girl.
But
It was a it was it
the
was
point is
It was a cry
the
for
point
help,
is
and
we're
he was trying to get her the help he needed, and
right.
they have since the news got a hold of it. All of a sudden, it's gotten so much worse.
And that was my point. Like he made it abundantly clear like this wasn't somebody trying to commit a crime like the second guy and his kid trying to hit a judge. This is just like this appeared more to be an emotionally disturbed and just very upset young lady. And he didn't ask for the police to go out there. He didn't ask for a
Well,
five-alarm
for
alert.
for a for
He
a
asked for a
a,
wellness check.
a wellness check will involve the police. Just
I
saying,
understand that, but it's a little bit different than
we got someone
somebody go
hiring a
out.
contract killer.
Right, right. It's a little bit different than that. A wellness check is far different than a five-alarm like go out there guns blazing.
Yeah.
You know, and he even said it. It's like it appeared to me that it was just a cry for help. And the news got a hold of it and is trying to make this poor kid a monster. When in all reality, all she still needs is some help.
I'm not going to rate that one.
Either way,
I'm
I'm
not.
not
I'm
I'm
not
not going to
rating it.
rate
I
it.
don't
I'm
rate
not
kids.
I'm not giving nope. I'm not doing that.
Our last story comes from the New York Times. Florida woman used pandemic relief loan to pay a hitman, police say. But he's not a Florida man. It may be a Florida woman, but that still means one thing.
Florida man, does whatever the fuck he can. Makes headlines every time. Florida's paradigm. Look out! Here comes Florida man.
The Paycheck Protection Program is intended to help businesses meet their payroll during the pandemic. But scores of people have faced charges that they used the federal loans money on extravagancies like Ferraris, Lamborghinis, jewelry, and lavish vacations. Now, the authorities in Miami say a woman there went to another extreme using part of the $15,000 she received to pay a hitman. The woman, Jasmine Martinez, 33, received the loan on April 20th, 2021. 2 weeks before a man wearing a black hooded sweatshirt shot LaShawnte Jones to death as she walked to her apartment building with her 3-year-old daughter. In an arrest warrant dated February 9th, Ms. Martinez made withdrawals from her bank account totaling more than $10,000 in the days before the killing. The police arrested Ms. Martinez and Ramiel Robinson, a man Ms. Martinez was in a romantic relationship with, on charges of first-degree murder and conspiracy to commit murder in the killing of Ms. Jones, 24, a Transportation Security Administration employee at Miami International Airport, according to arrest warrants in the case. Miami-Dade police last week also announced the arrest of Javon Carter, an ex-convict they believe to be the hitman. Mr. Carter was charged with first-degree murder and attempted murder of Mrs. Jones' daughter, who was grazed by bullets in the attack. The police found a video on Mr. Carter's cell phone taken about 2 hours after Mrs. Jones' killings, in which he is there counting a large sum of money and saying, "Just another day in the office." Police believe the shooting was the culmination of a long antagonism between the two women. Felon Zerople, a lawyer representing Ms. Martinez, said in a statement on Tuesday night that Ms. Martinez, quote, has always denied any involvement in this tragedy since the first time law enforcement approached her last summer. Jonathan Jordan, a lawyer representing Mr. Robinson, did not immediately respond to requests for comment on Thursday, and it was unclear whether Mr. Carter had a lawyer. The program under which police allege Ms. Martinez obtained a loan as part of the Coronavirus Aid, Relief, and Economic Security Act, the federal government is waiting to get the relief money out fast, waiving much of the vetting that lenders traditionally do on business loans because of the absence of those standards being met. Fraud was highly likely. So she actually pulled it off. She actually got a hitman. The question is, where did she get them? Obviously, it wasn't through our friends at rentahitman.com.
Well, you know what, though? I mean, she didn't get a government contracted killer, but she did get a government paid for killer.
Yeah.
So, I mean, that's terrible. I'm a horrible person. But
this is like not a funny episode at all. Everything we're doing is dark and horrible. So if you're here for comedy, folks, I am sorry. That's why I list this under entertainment and not comedy.
You know what, though? We did have a little laugh about the priest, but I digress. She's using government stimulus money to have somebody offed and then is denying it. That's a special kind of screwed up to do that. And what kind of person, what kind, and I'm not saying person, that's not fair. What kind of life does a person have to live in order to escalate to the point where killing somebody is just another day at the office?
Well, and you can't, and with that, you can't even say it was a crime of passion or temporary mental instability or anything of that nature, because you have to plan it out. You have to get the money. You have to then pay said hitman.
there's logistics here.
There's
Like yeah. I mean, like
it may not be the
there's
pictures on the wall with the red string, but there is planning.
yeah, and there's a planning and an execution phase to this. Like first degree murder, total. That totally all day long. Well charged. But I just again, I'm referring more so to the hitman. Like people have had hard lives, in my opinion, to escalate into. You know what? I think mental illness might play a factor in some of it, but just the fact that you can just frivolously discard human life like that is just meh to me.
Meh.
Like, like,
Well,
what do you think this person deserves as far as the score goes?
oh, we got murder, dude. This is a 5 all day long.
Nah, okay, good. I agree with your assertion.
Well, folks, that's going to bring us to an end of another episode. Sorry it's a day late, but life happens. You can catch us about every Saturday and usually on Wednesdays now as we put new episodes out on just about every platform you can imagine, whether it be Spotify, Radio Public, Pocket Cast, Overcast, Anchor, Google Podcast, Breaker, Apple Podcast, or Castbox. But you can also find us at times on YouTube or any other platform out there for podcasts. Lord knows we're getting picked up all over the place. Special thank you to our friend Guido Finelli. And that'll be all for this week, folks, and we'll see you on the next one.